Hey, let's face it, decluttering can be hard work, especially if you're doing an entire home. And a lot of times we start out very excited, we start out gung-ho, we get through some different spaces, but soon the enormity of the task begins to set in, and we tend to get frustrated, we tend to slow down in the process. And so what I want to do today is I want to talk about 7 strategies for when you are stuck decluttering. Let me offer you a few ideas if this is where you are in your journey. Here's some things to help you get going. Number 1, remember your motivation. Remember why you got started in the first place. You were sick and tired of cleaning up all the time. You wanted more space in your home. You want to spend more time with your family. You know you have to downsize into a smaller home, or you want to finally get ahead financially. Whatever the reason was initially that sparked your desire to declutter, remember it and go back to it and go back to that motivation. Number 2, celebrate the progress that you've already made. If you happen to take any before photos when you were first getting started, go back and look at them and compare where your living room looks today from where it was back then, or whatever the space is that you've made some progress in. If you didn't take any photos, you can still think of the number of boxes of things that have gone out of your house, or the bags of stuff that have gone out of your house, the number of trips to Goodwill or Salvation Army or your favorite local charity, whatever it might be. But remember the progress, celebrate it, and know that you've made some steps and that you can make the next one as well. Number 3, list out the benefits of owning less. Remind yourself what life can look like when you own fewer things. You'll have more time and more money and more energy and less stress. You'll be a better example for your kids, a better life for the environment. Remember, think about, as I own less, my life will begin to look like this, and use that as motivation to go forward as well. Number 4, I'm a big fan of to-do lists. I love having a sheet of paper with things that I need to do listed on them, mostly because I love being able to check them off when I'm done. And so maybe you can find motivation in the same thing. Take out a sheet of paper and list out what is the next easiest thing that you can do. Clean out a drawer, clean out a closet, a shelf, maybe an entire room. But just list out, I can do this next, I can do that next, I can do this after that. And I think having the sheet of paper of easy steps, manageable steps going forward will be helpful to you. Number 5, I personally also find motivation in other people's stories. I read a lot of different blog posts when we were minimizing our home, and reading about the different people. Sometimes they were owning very few things, sometimes they were living a life more similar to mine. They had kids, they didn't have kids, they were younger, they were older. Whatever it was, as I read their stories and saw that they were able to make this change, it motivated me knowing that I could do it as well. I love becomingminimalist.com. I think you're going to find tons of inspiration on the website if you want to read. There's other YouTube videos of other minimalists, other people who are decluttering. Watch their stories. Find inspiration in them. Number 7, know that the questions you're asking are healthy. And by that I mean, a lot of times as we declutter, difficult questions start to emerge. Why did I buy all this stuff in the first place? How much money did I waste on all these things? Why is this so hard for me to get rid of? Why do I always get started but can't seem to end? Those are difficult questions, and a lot of times when they emerge, people stop because they get too hard, they get too difficult, they think they're the only person asking those questions. But the opposite is actually true. These questions are good to ask. Most people wrestle with them. And the greatest life change happens as we begin to answer those heartfelt questions. So know that they're healthy, welcome them, sit in them for a little while. Number 7, invite over a friend to help you, invite over a relative to help you. Maybe you told someone early on that this is what you were hoping to do. Maybe you've had a friend, maybe your daughter has been telling you, hey, we really should declutter your home at some time. We really need to go through these spaces. Invite them over for an afternoon or an evening. I usually mention it's important if you're going to invite someone over that you really should take their advice. And so make sure it's someone that you trust, someone you know has your best in mind, and invite them over and find motivation together. Look, decluttering can be hard, especially if you're doing an entire home, and most people at times feel stuck. But there are strategies that you can take, steps that you can embrace to get over it. You can do it. We're all cheering for you. You're going to love owning less. And hey, if you're enjoying these videos, be sure to subscribe, share them with your friends.